Here's a quick introduction to the sets feature. What is a set? A set is a collection of fields that you want to replicate several different times, n number of times, for a particular use case on your UI for your user. In this case, I have a set with 4 fields in it, number1, text2, boolean3, and picklist4, and I am replicating them, say, 3 times for my user. Now, why you care about a set? There are many cases where you might use this, where, say, you have n number of diners and you want to give each one the choice for a drink, an entree, and a side, or you are keeping track of the locations and some specific configurations around assets. You can do that in a set. But essentially, it is a questionnaire that you want to replicate some number of times, and you know that you're going to have the same questions in each record. So in this case, I have got my 4 fields, and I've also written a few rules between my fields. So if I move this slider up to 10, my text turns to large, my Boolean turns false, and all of a sudden test 1 is selected in the pick list. So I've got a few different rules that are running here. Likewise, if I do something else on the bottom, I'll get a small and I'll have a different determination rule running on pick list 4. So you can see that with very little effort and very few rules and 4 attributes, 4 fields, I've been able to do quite a bit of detailed configuration, taking in inputs from my user and controlling those interactions. You'll also notice that I have aggregates defined down here on the number1 field. So as I was moving this, you'll notice that my min and max, my sum, and my average are moving concurrently, and I did not have to write any rules to make those aggregates work. So a couple of other things. You are able to allow your user to increment and decrement your set size if your use case allows it to. You can also set your set size based on a determination rule. You can take if you know that the user should only have a certain number of records, you can basically set that for them, say number of slots in a hardware chassis. However, if you want to give that ability to your user, you can basically allow them to use this change size field. You can let them use the decrement button at the top. You can also allow them to increment rows inside of 2 other records, which is very convenient. I can also remove row 2 from between 1 and 3. And this is very convenient. I can just hover in between 2 rows and create one in between. So lots of different opportunities for good user interaction with sets, and also the ability to do some fairly complex configurations with a minimum number of fields and rules.